Our wines are made here in Lompoc, California, some of which are sourced outside of Santa Barbara County, but a majority of our wines are sourced directly here from Santa Barbara County and the Santa Rita Hills, which is just nearby here in Lompoc. The first iterations of these wines here I got from different areas around Santa Barbara County, as well as from Alexander Valley, which is in Sonoma County. But more recently, just this year, we sourced all of our grapes from Santa Rita Hills for our Pinot Noir, and from Los Olivos district for the Syrah. And then we actually were able to gain some grapes from a very different area here locally, from the Ventucopa, which is on the back side of the Santa Barbara Mountains here. Still Santa Barbara County. It's a place that a lot of labels here have gone to grow the bigger red varietals, you know, like Dascom was telling you about, like the Bordeaux type wines. You know, they're growing Cabernet Sauvignon different than we can grow here with the ocean exposure, because it's in the high desert in Santa Barbara County. Certain areas, the climates that are in each area grows certain grapes better than other areas. So in Santa Rita Hills, the reason it's become most famous for Pinot Noir is because that's one of the grapes that grows the best here, right? And with the coastal influence that cools the vines, it gives a more concise fruit and more concise flavor. So that's become, you know, really one of the flagships of this entire area. Just because that's what grows well here, what produces the best wine here in Santa Rita Hills AVA. So other AVAs, like if you start getting up into Buellton and into Los Olivos, because they're not as close to the coast, they're able to grow the bigger reds that don't do as well with the cooler coastal influences. So the Ventucopa Highlands are actually on the backside of the mountain range that we see. Everything that we know in most of Santa Barbara County is grown on the front side of this mountain range. For my first offerings, I did, you know, the Sauvignon Blanc and Rosé, Grenache, Pinot Noir, but I'm not trying to be exclusive to any varietals. I like to showcase the best stuff that I can acquire locally or outside of this area even. You know, so I'm not necessarily like somebody who's only growing Bordeaux varietals or trying to produce Bordeaux varietal wines. I have tastes in many different styles, so I prefer to not be fixed into, you know, one or two different varietals, but to be able to offer a more wide spectrum of different choices to the clients. So part of that is, you know, as I've, you know, just kind of started my label, a lot of the acquisitions have been made based on relationships that were developed by Dave Dascom that you just met, and by Justin Charbonneau of Temperance Cellars. And so they're working with vineyards that they know and they trust. And so I'm following along their guideline and their advice, and using the fruit that is there. And we are working directly with the vineyards to get the grapes, and on the dates that the wines are picked, that the grapes are picked, to then go and be processed. The newer acquisition that I was telling you about that was up from Ventucopa is actually somebody who owns the Santa Barbara Pistachio Company, and they started a vineyard on their property to produce wines for their own label, and so they have excess grapes that are there now, and so we acquired their Cabernet Sauvignon, their Grenache this year, that will be on our label in 2 years. So this past year I produced just under 150 cases of wine in my first year as an actual label. My goal, and in barrel now I have about probably 300 cases worth of wine. So my sales are all based directly to consumer, as well as to some local restaurants and like a health food store and cafeteria. And out of our tasting room at 33 West Haley, downtown Santa Barbara. And our website, caellawines.com. My family history is in in the southeast of Italy as winemakers. And so we produce a ton of wine, a lot of wine, not even a ton, that's not a lot of wine, but we produced a bunch of wine for our entire region. So it's been something that's been calling me. So Justin here, Temperance Cellars, has been producing wines, and I've been helping him for years with his wines. And then I decided that I was ready to join the fun and to then make my own label.